Yeah.
3 dudes on a table, sitting around.
You got to keep the phone so you can cue it off, too.
Talking about basketball.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
We'd like to welcome all of our listeners to the 3&D Basketblog. I am one of your three hosts. My name is Jimmy Bryant, and to my left is
Dave.
Dave is here, and to my right is
the music switched just perfectly, just for me. You saw that?
Shane. I see it.
I'm Shane.
Shane. So, thanks for tuning in. We're going to get started. We've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Pretty much a recap of last year's playoffs, and we're going to head into some free agency. I was wondering, so we can do, let's just have Trey.
Let it fade out.
Once we've gotten through the recap of last season, we're going to talk a little bit about the draft, a little bit about free agency, our expectations of the teams next year.
Should we give more references to who we are? Because this is, nobody knows who they are.
I mean, I said my name.
I'm Dave.
Any kind of background?
What background? I like basketball.
You play a lot of 2K, my league.
A
lot of my league.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2019, goddammit. Let's get started. Yeah, is the music going to fade, or is it just going to go?
I mean, I can't make it fade.
I think you can make it.
If we didn't do it while we were recording, we could have just added it later.
Well, yeah, I just didn't know if we wanted to do that to try and make a mood set of some kind.
Next time we'll start it all sensual. Welcome to what's the name of this? 3&D.
3&D. So let's start with our playoff recap. We're going to go through each round and quickly kind of describe our thoughts on each of the teams and the outcomes leading up to the eventual championship game. So let's just jump in. Round one.
Can I do it?
Oh, by all means.
I wrote it, so I want to do it.
Me? Go ahead.
And I just want to say these Boston scrapes by the
You like them? That's why I want to say it.
The Bucks decimate.
It's mine.
You're so brutal, man. That's metal as fuck.
First up, round one of the 2019 NBA playoffs. On the eastern side, Boston scrapes by the Pacers in a sweep.
Yeah.
You did good.
That was good. I think that, it's one of the odd times in the playoffs where a winner gets exposed without having an injury happen in the series.
Playing against a Pacers team that was without Victor Oladipo. I feel like there might have been somebody else injured as well.
I mean, they were the Clippers East.
Yeah, they really barely make it in, but...
Is that Nate McMillan over there?
Yeah, I think so.
He's
they made it in.
He's doing a good
they
job.
made it in, but they shouldn't have had any shot against Boston without Victor Oladipo. They just shouldn't have.
It's a telling tale.
And so next up, we have the Bucks decimate the Pistons. The Pistons fall hard.
It's the only way to fall, guys. That is not the last penis joke, I guarantee you.
Keep them coming. So the Bucks, going in as I think easily the favorite, maybe not overwhelming, but the favorite. Beat up on another injured team.
Yeah, I mean they went what? The Bucks went 60-22.
Yeah, and so Blake was hurt. He was starting to play better ball, but
they should have done that. Next up, we have Houston on the western side. Houston breaks down the Utah Jazz. We saw that coming. I just don't think they had it in them.
Yeah.
I love Utah. I liked that team, but they didn't have it in them.
Yeah, I mean...
Rubio was on skates the whole time.
James Harden. Beard. The beard.
The beard.
What do you know about the beard, Dave?
The brick beard.
Yes.
The densest material known to man so far.
So is that maybe the source of his power? Does he have like a fucking nuclear?
Has he ever shaved it off?
Dark matter?
Not that I can remember.
He has. He's worn it short, but it's never been gone. Well, I think it was gone.
Worn it short and shaving it off.
I mean, I felt like he started growing it in OKC, and he hadn't shaved it since.
Yeah, but there was a time when he didn't have it.
There was a time.
He was.
There was a time.
He was a baby.
Well, there was a time that Goku wasn't Super Saiyan 3. And,
Touche.
Super Saiyan 3 drains too much energy that day.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
But he gets long, cool hair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Arden and Super Saiyan 3 Goku have a lot in common.
For sure. Can't make it through the playoffs.
Yeah. And then Goku or somebody else ends up having to beat the motherfucker, the boss.
Portland. Next up, Portland stops the Thunder from rolling, eliminates Paul George and Russell Westbrook in the first round. Once again, the Thunder go down.
Exposed.
And then, as we get to in a little bit, they are no longer even together.
Yep. Dollar Dame sending somebody home. A lot of great playoff moments.
Yeah, the shot was an incredible shot. It was a great shot. Next up, Golden State has more of a series than they should have against the Clippers.
We saw it coming, right? I guess hindsight's 2020, but the Clippers were decent all year. They were good, and Golden State was not focused. And so you get a 6-game series. You know who I am.
You know who I am, right?
I'm Kevin Durant.
I still believe if they hadn't have had such a long series, a rough series, an ugly series against the Clippers, does those injuries happen later on?
I don't know. I think they were bound to happen. I think one way or another.
For sure.
This ship was going to leak.
Next up, Denver pushes out the Spurs. Our favorite coach, Greg Popovich, the king. Simple man, simple words. Pushed out in the first round like a chump.
Damn, shitting on him. A little bit.
He ain't even here to defend himself.
He's a G, man.
He is a G.
He's
I love Pop.
He can't play the games.
He can't play the games for him. No. He can't play them for him. Exposed.
Yeah,
Your favorite word right now.
LaMarcus Aldridge is not going to take a team to the championship as the focal point.
DeMar DeRozan is not either.
No.
What if they do, though?
They will not.
Well,
Right.
if they do, then we're going to have to eat that. We're going to have to fucking eat our words,
Yeah.
We're going to have to eat them.
Next up, the Raptors overcome the Magic's tricks.
Nice. Kind of like the doorknobs in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
They're smart.
Except
They're
they
smart
ate the
animals.
kids. Except for this, they ate them.
Yeah.
Except they ate them, yeah. In the end.
I wonder if they went through some magic portal,
I don't know if the Magic have that.
and then that was actually what killed the dinosaurs.
All right. Well, the dinosaurs won in this case, but Orlando gives them a good game.
The comment has
Nick Nurse
the comment-
yells at the team.
The comment for the Raptors, the global extinction level event is on the way. It's not here yet.
Yeah, it's not here yet.
Okay, cool.
It's coming, but it's not here
That's
yet.
good. Maybe next year.
Probably next year.
If not next year, definitely the year after that.
It's probably next year.
And then finally, to end out the first round, Philly and Brooklyn, they just have a series.
Forgettable.
It was played out pretty much how you thought it would. And Brooklyn, D'Angelo looked great, and they looked young, and they looked like they barely made the playoffs as they did.
Yeah, that's their season is a tale of bareleys.
Yeah, very much. And then we move on to the semifinals. Portland teaches Denver a lesson.
Yeah, Denver really had Portland outmatched. I imagine some people lost some money on this. I don't know. Records aside, Denver's just deeper. So much deeper.
Denver's deeper.
Nurkic was out.
They're more skilled.
You guys lost. Ouch.
You just lost.
Might have got broken. I need to see him now because Portland was an inferior.
Yeah, without
compared
Nurkic,
to the
without Nurkic, they were inferior.
Yeah, and so
Absolutely.
they had a gaping hole.
Poor Nurkic.
And so
The naughty Nuggets.
The
naughty Nuggets, man. Naughty
Next up,
Nuggets.
the Rockets collapse against Golden State again in the playoffs.
They did. They were never as good. The Rockets were never as good as Golden State.
They weren't never as good,
And
but
so-
they had their chance.
And
KD going down, they had their chance.
they had a chance this year, but they're just not as good. I don't know how many times they have to beat them before the world just accepts it. And there shouldn't even be that much drama in Houston because they're just better.
That's absolutely right. And next up, Toronto gets a miracle in Game 7 to win against Philly and break Joel Embiid's heart.
Yeah, Embiid was, I think we can all agree, not 100% one way or another.
Mm-mm.
If he was, would it have been different? Kawhi made that shot. It was great. Have you seen that shot, Dave?
No.
We got to show him the shot.
It's illogical.
So this is the only Game 7 game-winning shot as time expired in NBA history. So this is the only time this has been done.
Like buzzer beater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so this is at the end of Game 7. So there's no.
It's when
Is this that dude that's like 19 or 20 or something?
No, Kawhi is not that. The claw.
I got yours.
The claw.
Claw.
The claw. He decides who will go and who will stay. Holy shit, he does.
It's the claw, motherfucker. Oh, shit. That's dope. Wait, all right. So I remember when I was living in New Orleans, this may be something to do with the whole Game 7 thing. My buddy watched the Heat. He was a big Heat fan, I guess, at the time. And there was this dude who had been on the team for a while, some older cat, little short guy. I remember we were sitting on his couch watching. That motherfucker did the same thing. He got in the corner and he fade-awayed it.
Is he thinking of Ray
Switched
Allen?
Maybe.
Yes, I think
Ray.
that is it.
Well, Ray.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Sweet stroking Ray.
so was that why? How was that different?
Ray's shot was in a Game 6. So it wasn't everything on the table.
Yeah,
there
okay.
was another
Okay.
game. It was a huge shot because they were facing
Game
a limit.
7, it's a best of 7, so...
So it was like tied up, and they were.
No, when Ray hit his shot, they were behind. That was to stay alive. And then
Okay.
in the next game, they won. They won the
This was
championship.
to win the game.
This was to win the series. This was to move on. If you lose this game, you go home.
Okay, cool,
And so
cool.
only one. It's the only one.
I gotcha.
The stakes could have been no higher. If the finals.
And
Stakes
on
were
top
on
of that, the bounce in itself
Yeah.
is craziness.
And
then the Bucks destroy the Celtics.
exposed.
Destroyed them.
You
People got excited for the Celtics for winning a game
well, apparently too soon.
too soon.
Guess anything isn't possible, huh?
No, in basketball,
In a best of 7,
in a best of 7, we know who's better by the end.
we know who's better.
But that dude was on the Celtics when he did that, right?
Who?
Anything's possible.
Yeah, that was Kevin Garnett.
All right, cool. Just
Yeah,
making
yeah.
sure that was.
Yeah, that happened. Yep, it did.
Ray,
You
the guy
didn't-
who shot with
You didn't
Miami Heat.
acknowledge it, and I just want to make sure that you knew, and didn't just think I was like being dumb.
No, not at all.
So Ray Allen, the guy who hit the shot with Miami, he won that championship with Kevin Garnett when they won a championship. Just a little NBA,
For the Heat.
Oh, okay.
just
Yeah.
a little NBA, and that people were pissed off about that because they didn't like the Heat at the time.
No.
Yeah.
But then LeBron and then
Yeah.
everybody.
Look at him.
I mean, like, I did that. Like, I was like, yeah, I guess basketball is pretty cool. And then next season, I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
And then in the conference finals, Golden State sweeps Portland.
Yeah.
Portland just didn't have it.
Portland just got they just got served up the exact same thing that they served to Denver. They got exactly what they gave Denver.
Yes.
But
and that's you're completely right.
Golden State.
I do.
Get the hell out of here.
Once again, though, shout out some love to Damian Lillard because I do love his stone-faced, just killer throughout the playoffs. He was fantastic. He played. He didn't play his best against Golden State, but I liked his attitude. This
series makes me think about. Shout out to Shannon Sharp. This series makes me think about LeBron in Miami like the last year or so. It won't be long now.
It won't be long now,
It won't
Skip.
be long now. And, it's easy to say that after the fact, but that was never going to be a series.
No. And then finally, in the Eastern Conference Finals, Toronto stumbles and then tells the Bucks, not today. Little Game of Thrones reference. We the North in Toronto, as they say. They've got Canadian love.
It's the Great White North.
Yeah. So they're saying we the North in Toronto.
Yeah.
Toronto's got to get a straight-up thumbs up for beating the Bucks. They beat them. They fucking beat them.
Beat them 4 games in a row.
Yeah, they fucking beat them.
A team that had not lost, I think, any... didn't lose 3 games in a row all season, I believe.
Yeah.
And only lost, maybe like 2 back-to-backs, period, all year. So... a little surprising. Kudos. They locked them up.
They might have broken.
Toronto, I feel like after they won in Philly, coming into that series, they got busted up pretty good a little bit early in the series. And then they just found their defensive swagger and never let it go after that at all. At all. They were, that's what got them that chip. And that brings us to the final. Toronto does everything they needed to, and Golden State breaks down physically under the intensity of the Raptors' defense.
That about sums it up, That about.
Sadly, Clay having the ACL was horrible. I hated to see that. I know we both got love for Clay and his game.
I think Klay Thompson clearly established himself as one of the best 10 players in the league.
Absolutely. And watching him in that game before he even hurt himself and after he hurt himself and he came back out to shoot the free throws, Klay Thompson is a baller.
He went toe-to-toe with Kawhi.
Klay Thompson is a fucking baller. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Klay Thompson is a baller, and Golden State did what they should have, and they rolled out the bank.
So, Dave.
Yes.
Klay Thompson is a baller.
Klay Thompson is a baller, eh?
Baller.
He's a shot caller.
How big?
He's a baller. I don't know if he's a shot caller.
Blades on
You think he's got 20-inch blades
Baller.
on the Impala? He doesn't seem like he would, honestly. I think that's too gregarious.
Oh, no.
Thoughts on the Raptors bringing home the chip, man. You got to give them credit. Masai, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name right now because I never seem to get it right.
Ujiri?
Is it Ujiri? I'm not sure. Masai, though, did a great job making great moves to pick up Mark, to bring in Kawhi, and he took a gamble to get a championship, and they did it.
Yeah.
And so, yes, as we know, as we're segueing into the next segment about free agency and where we are now, Kawhi did what Toronto brought him to do. He won him a chip, and he left. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that in any way.
Can't
he played his best. They gave him what he wanted, and kudos to Toronto for bringing a championship to Canada, man. First non-United States team to win a championship.
Way to go, guys.
Mostly American players, I believe, but
well done still.
Well done. Great job. The gamble worked. So that brings us to setting up next season. Obviously, the big storylines, the most recent being Kawhi Leonard, Paul George going to the Clippers. Clippers are nasty. Anthony Davis is now a Los Angeles Laker. Zion Williamson is your number 1 draft pick to the New Orleans Pelicans, who had a stroke of luck not of just their own, but also on the Lakers' end to make that trade happen. And so, Jimmy, what team you want to start off with? We're going to talk about these teams and maybe make a few predictions on teams that are worth predicting. Because some of y'all are trash.
I say let's just do it alphabetically.
Alphabetically?
Somebody else. I don't have a pen.
Or do you want to just do this by division?
Completely unprepared.
There's some pins on the
There's
over there.
2 pins right there.
Look at
man.
that. We're fucking
And we don't
worth
have
something.
to, because we can edit everything out, so we can take our fucking time.
Yeah. That's your boy.
Who's?
That's your boy.
That ain't my boy,
That's your
dude.
boy.
Not like that. That ain't my boy.
All right, so let's get this thing started. First, we got Boston, the Boston Celtics, led by
Celtics.
I don't really know yet.
I mean, I'm
Brad
guessing,
Stevens, Danny Ainge.
I'm guessing. I mean, as far as on the court, I'm guessing Kemba. I guess, right?
I guess.
Right? It's got to be Kemba, right?
I mean, he's the point guard. He's making most of the decisions. Like, I'm not sure. I don't know who's leading this team.
I'm going to suppose being Al Horford is gone. Al Horford leaving as well as Kyrie leaving, and Kyrie being the leader is questionable at this point, I think. But Al Horford was that true locker room leader, let's be honest. Or I hope he was. He led that court very well. He kept them together defensively. But him being gone, I don't care. Jason Tatum's too young. Jaylen Brown's too young. Gordon Hayward ain't showing he's the shit again. Mm-hmm. And Cantor just coming in, too. And Cantor ain't a better baller than Kemba Walker by any means. Now, Cantor like to run his mouth a lot.
I mean, I think they'll,
Talking about Julius Randle with hops.
I'm not sure, if they buy into Brad's system and don't get hurt, they could win the same number of games.
They could win 49 games.
They could. I'd put their ceiling at 50.
I can't disagree with that, a ceiling of 50.
I think the worst they'll do is 500.
Absolutely. Brad Stevens, I think there is an argument that he didn't do a great job last year. I think, and he said that. He's owned that. But I think that I'm not going to put it all on him. I think he did the best he could. I think he is a very good coach, and I think they'll probably bring it together very well this year. I don't know if I don't think they're winning no championship by any means, but they will be a solid team.
No, they took a couple of steps back. One for the amount of talent they lost in Kyrie, and another for Horford being gone.
Horford hurts. Horford hurts, man.
Yeah. So, up next, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn Nets, man.
42-40.
42-40 last year, but a completely different look Nets. It's not even the full look because Kevin Durant obviously will not be back next year with the Achilles injury that he's had surgery on. Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan, I guess, are your floor leaders with Jared Allen and Spencer Dinwiddie. I know there are other guys on this team. There's some solid pieces, but I just don't think they're going to be that great this year. I think they're probably going to be about 42-40 again.
Yeah, so somebody's going to be unhappy. Someone between Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan is going to be unhappy. Neither one can shoot. That's going to kill him.
Who else is on this roster? Let's see. What team are we talking about? What team are we talking about?
We're talking about the Brooklyn Nets.
The Brooklyn Nets.
The 2019.
Oh my God, I can't get to your
2020.
I just want to see
Brooklyn Nets.
I just want to see your team. roster. Here we go. So they got Joe Harris. Joe can shoot.
Okay.
He can shoot. Rondé Hollis Jefferson, good defender. Can't shoot really that great. Karoch, if you like Karoch, I think it's, I don't know if it's Karoch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Rodions. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, bro. I'm sorry.
So he's clearly a scrub.
I see him in 2K a lot. He can be all right. You got Levert. Levert, solid defender. Musa, decent shooter. I don't know who Theo Pinson is. I'm going to be honest with you. Taurean Prince is nice. Prince is nice. Garrett Temple, good defender. Pretty good two-way player. Alan Williams, a little undersized for my taste, but, Alan beat the shit out of me in a one-on-one game.
This team sounds like a worse... This team sounds like a shittier version of Boston.
Hey.
Without Kevin Durant.
Hey. I'm not going to disagree with you because I think they're going to be a little more trash.
I think they're trash.
I think they're going to be a little more trash than people think.
I think they're trash.
I think they messed it up. I'm just going to be honest. I think Kevin Durant's going to enjoy chilling with Jay-Z this next season and making his little short whatever bullshit he's doing for ESPN Plus and make his $32 million, whatever the hell he's making, a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And I think when he comes back, I think they're going to be all right.
And so it's just a burner season for Brooklyn.
It's a burner season, and I'm interested to see how they hold up.
They're probably
burner season.
I would imagine that they'd like to see Kyrie lead the league in scoring or some shit.
I think they hope for something like that.
But
so next up,
42 and 40.
Who do we have next up? Do we have is it the Chicago Bulls?
We have the Nets. The Knicks.
I thought we were going alphabetically.
We were. And
So
I said that just because I saw Boston.
I would say the Chicago Bulls, 22 and 60 last year. Didn't really make any huge moves in free agency. Got a couple of nice draft picks, I believe. We'll bring that.
Trash. God damn it, they're trash.
They're trash, dude. They're not winning. They're not winning much. I'm going to be honest with you.
22
I think they're probably going to go with a little progression. I think they might win 25 games.
Yeah, I could see 27. Yeah.
So who do they got here? Obviously, we have Wendell Carter Jr. He's a nice.
Did they get Kobe White?
Huh?
Did they get Kobe White?
Did they get Kobe White? They did get Kobe White, didn't they?
It's all out point guard. They got
Kobe White.
Zach LaVine. Somebody's got to wake up and play point guard in Chicago.
So you say Chris Dunn can't play point guard?
I'm saying that Chris Dunn has not been successful as the point guard for an NBA team.
So we also do have
has not led a team to success.
Lauri Markkanen can shoot. Otto Porter Jr. kind of came alive last year. I think it's Denzel. Hopefully Kobe White pans out. That's
they need a point guard.
Satoransky can bring the ball up. Archie Diacono. We know his name because it sounds funny.
Yeah.
They got Kakarot. They got Kakarot. I love Kakarot, man. He's great. At least in 2K, I love him. We're talking about Luwawu Cabarro. But we just
Excuse
call him
me?
His name is Luwawu Cabarro.
Nice.
We just call him Kakarot.
Kakarot.
Because he likes to go Super Saiyan in 2K. This team's trash, man. They're young. They're not planning to win this year by any means.
We can. Honestly, do we even need to talk about Cleveland?
I guess we can talk about the fact that could Kevin Love be on the move at some point here in the very near future?
Yes. Kevin Love should go to Miami. Or, he could go to Miami.
Can Miami make that work with contracts? I don't know if Miami can make that work.
Sounds sexy.
It sounds sexy. Detroit, 41 and 41.
I think they'll be better.
They're going to be better.
Just because Blake's and Andre are a little more comfortable with each other.
Yeah, I wish, they made some decent moves. I like Markieff Morris. I think they just need better point guard play, Yeah. And I don't know where that's going to come from. Jose Calderon's not going to do it.
No.
Tim Frazier's not going to do it. Reggie Jackson, I think he's shown he's not going to get you a championship. Markieff Morris, I got love for Markieff.
Baller.
He's a baller. Derrick Rose. Derrick had flashes last year. If Derrick can be healthy and
Derrick gives you 15 and 5 for a season, then Detroit could be a tough out.
Detroit could be a very tough out. I do think if you have Derrick Rose on the floor, I think Reggie Jackson might be able to play a little. Let Derrick maybe play a little too.
Or let Reggie play too. Shit, all he wants to do is shoot. It's whatever.
Right. Tony Snell, good defender off the bench. He's a good defender off the bench, man. Come on.
Trash.
They got
Trash.
Dumboya.
Them boys.
I can't say his name, man.
They got them boys.
He's a prospect. He's a prospect.
The more you
Let's
talk
call it
about
what it is.
the more you talk about this roster, initially I wrote weak next to it on my notes. Now I'm moving towards trash.
So, will they win more than 41 games? Will they be above 500 next year?
Well, trash would imply that you're under 500.
I think they're going to be.
What about like the ground under all the trash in the dump that's soaked up?
They're not that bad.
Decades.
Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin
they've-
make sure you're
They've
not
got a
that
couple
bad.
of players that they're not. Yeah, they're not complete.
They're not very.
They're
good.
not.
They're not going to win.
You know, the floor.
championship.
that holds
I got
the
love
trash.
for Blake. I got love for his game, but they're not about to win it. The Charlotte Hornets. We'll just say this, in my opinion, is the most trash roster. Michael Jordan, not wanting to go into that luxury tax. You're the key players I have written down here. This just shows you how trash it is. Terry Rozier, I got love for Scary Terry, but Nicholas Batum, Miles Bridges, Bismack Biyombo, and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. Who's shooting the ball, bro? There ain't nobody on this roster that can shoot. Are you telling me? Nicholas Batum and Miles Bridges.
This team is bad.
It's bad. This team won how many games last year? 39 games. I'm going to give them 20, 25, somewhere in that range. They're not going to be good, man. They're going to be bad. They're going to be really bad.
Go trade for Lonzo and draft the other ball kid. At least it'll be a show. Make LeVar relevant again. That's what Charlotte should do.
You know what?
Sell tickets, man.
You know what? It might sell tickets.
Sell tickets.
Who are you going to trade for Lonzo
Bring
Ball,
the circus to town. Who are you going to trade for Lonzo Ball? Shit, you got enough to trade for Lonzo Ball.
Who are you going to send?
Man.
That roster's already full.
We can make that work.
How about Nikola Jokic?
Nikola Jokic.
Yes.
So, we can talk about the Denver Nuggets. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. 54-28 last year. Obviously, a heartbreak series against Portland.
So Nikola, his nickname in some circles is the Joker.
Because his last name is
Jokic.
Jokic, yes. So,
Yeah.
the Joker.
At least he got that and not like something off a yoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Eggy,
Or like, hey, Joker.
pass the ball.
Or do you put
Scrams.
the yolks on? The Joker.
Dirty.
I mean, they got left with the yoke
Paul
on
Yoker.
They got left with the yoke on their face. Yeah, man.
Oh, I see what you did.
Paul
Oi,
Millsap,
mate.
Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, Malik Beasley. There's some other nice pieces on this roster, man. Who else is on this roster?
I'm giving them an okay.
You're giving them an okay.
They're okay.
All right, so we got Will Barton. Will Barton can get you a shot. Bol, a little project there. Torrey Craig.
Bobo Sims will, or
Jeremy-
at least the user created.
Right. Jeremiah Grant, solid defender. Juan Hernan Gomez, get you a couple boards, man. Trey Lyles, get you, a couple of buckets. Montemorris, all right. Plumlee's all right.
Yeah.
They're okay.
I think they would be okay.
I think they would have been a little nicer had Michael Porter Jr., which he may be back in time for the season. We still don't know what he's going to be at the NBA
Didn't he
level.
get traded?
No. He got hurt in practice for Summer League.
I don't know why I thought he got traded to Memphis.
He got hurt in practice.
Tripping. Okay.
So, 54 and 28, plus or minus.
Let's go 48.
48. I'm going to go 45.
Ouch.
The West got a lot tougher, man. I think in some ways.
Yeah, and they just got a little bit older.
They got a little bit older. I do think they will be better. They may win more than 45 games. I just don't know if we're going to see a 60-win team this year.
We may not.
I don't know if we're going to see that. The league across, we talk about wanting parity, and I think we finally got a good bit of parity, it looks like. The talent's much more spread out than it's been in the last several years. I think it's going to be harder for people to win because there's just not as much at the bottom, I feel, especially in the Western Conference. Everybody feels pretty solid except for a few teams. And so I'm going to say 45.
I'm with it. Let's get to somebody good.
Well, we're getting there. I mean,
Yeah.
Denver was good. Denver was good last year. They were 2 seed.
Denver's okay.
They were the 2 seed.
They got beat up by Portland. They're okay.
I mean, they were the 2 seed.
I like Dame. They got beat up by Portland.
They were the 2 seed.
2 seed.
The Atlanta Hawks, you think they'll be plus or minus 29 and 53. Trae Young, John Collins, strange roster, Jabari Parker, Kevin Huerter, Chandler Parsons,
They will sniff 500.
They will sniff 500. I'm going to go 35 wins. So I guess that is sniffing 500 a little bit. So a little bit of an improvement over last year. Let's just go down the list because I'm just going to go by these teams. So let's talk about them real quick. We got the New York Knicks drafting R.J. Barrett. They've got some nice pieces in Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox. They picked up Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson, and Julius Randle. My problem with this roster is when I look at it, just on this paper of the highlights, seems like they're a little heavy towards the bigs. I mean, they got Reggie Bullock and Damian Dotson. I mean, all right.
Yeah, this seems
Wayne
trash.
Ellington.
This seems going to be
Marcus
painful.
Morris is nice. They got Nidalkina.
It's going to be a painful season.
Dennis Smith Jr., Trier, Longley. It's going to be painful. Plus or minus on 17 wins.
I think they're going to -5.
Oh, so you're saying 12 wins?
Yeah, their guards are trash. The people who have to make the decisions with the ball every time up the floor are trash. So they're going to be trash.
I can't really argue with that. They're going to be trash. Yeah, they're going to be trash. Unless R.J. Barrett just somehow is just magical.
What?
I don't think he's going to be that magical.
So, who's next?
The Philadelphia 76ers. 51-31 last year. Obviously a heartbreaker in the conference semifinals. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, the pickup of Al Horford, and Josh Richardson. Who else is on this bench? Philly is they're massive. They are long. They are huge.
Like a penis.
Much like a large penis.
Told you it wasn't the last one.
I mean, Amir Johnson, all right. Korkmaz, all right. Greg Monroe, all right. Nito, all right. Kyle O'Quinn, all right. Mike Scott, all right. Zaire Smith, all right. I don't think this team is very deep at all, but I think its starting lineup is huge and will be hard to score against. I don't think there's a terrible amount of shooting here. And, it'll be interesting to see how they stagger minutes between Al Horford and Joel Embiid. I don't feel like they're going to probably play them on the floor at the same time a ton, although I could be wrong.
Yeah,
Brett Brown, I don't know what Brett Brown's planning.
Al could shoot well enough to play them together.
He can absolutely play at 4 and be nasty. I think he I've always thought Al Horford was more suited to be a 4 than a 5, personally.
I believe that, but the change in the game has been nice to him.
The change in the game has been nice to him. But, 51 and 31, I think that's going to be about where they are.
That's what I wrote down.
I don't think they're really going to improve upon last year by much.
No,
and I see them falling a few games behind that. I think they will be absolute hell in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's what they're built for. So, 50 games, 55, they don't give a fuck. They just want to make it to the dance.
They're going to make it to the dance. That is for sure. I think it's going to come down to who they're matched up against in the playoffs, honestly. The lack of shooting can really hurt. The positive, I guess you could say, is that they're huge. So even if you stretch the floor, they can cover the space really well.
Yeah, their backup guards are
But the backups,
non-existent.
If they're in foul trouble, they're in trouble. Next up, we have the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard is gone. Still got Marc Gasol, Kawhi, Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, and there's some other guys on that team. I don't think they are.
And a new boy.
I mean, they got a new boy. They got a new boy. He's a new boy, Dave.
New boy.
He's a new boy. I think that they will probably win 45 games. They've still got some. I mean, do you think they'll win 50? I mean, Mark and Kyle are great. I think Fred VanVleet, I think he is a closer, as like Skip says. Skip likes to call him out a lot as a closer. Pascal Siakam's nice. I think he will improve more this year.
Yeah, I think they're
going to be really. My problem with this team is I look at it. Pascal Siakam is best on the run in the open floor, in my opinion, and this team doesn't. You're going to have to. Mark's going to have to be a linchpin in this somehow, and you're not going to want to run just constantly up the floor with Mark.
Well, if Mark's outlets are on point, Mark don't have to run.
True enough. What do you think? I'm thinking 45.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
Maybe more accurately, 47-48. They might get 47-48 wins.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
I just don't think they're going to blow anybody out of the water. They just don't have – their pieces are older. I like Kyle. Kyle's not about to throw up 27 points a night. The Indiana Pacers, 48-34 last year, obviously gave the Celtics hell in their sweep loss. But Victor Oladipo coming back, should be healthy soon. Malcolm Brogdon pick up. I really like Brogdon. Miles Turner, Domantas Sabonis, picked up T.J. Warren and Jeremy Lamb. The team looks pretty deep. Depending on Depot looked great last year, man. Depot was turning it on, and so if Depot comes out there and balls, and in theory he should be even better with the team around him being better. What does Indiana have in store?
Indiana's built for under the premise that Miles Turner or Sabonis is going to develop into something special. It has. They're getting there, but it hadn't happened yet. And I think
Sabonis looked nice last year.
This team's going to go as far as those bigs take them. Depot, assuming he's healthy, he's going to show up. Brogdon's going to play well. Lamb can shoot. Warren can score. They got wings. They got wings.
Who's on the bench? Who's coming off the bench for their bigs? Who's coming off the bench? So, on the bench, got T.J. Leaf. He can shoot. T.J. McConnell. That's nice.
Yeah.
McDermott. McBuckets on the bench. I don't know who Edmund Sumner is, honestly.
Sounds like a 2K character.
Aaron Holiday. They're not bad, man. They're pretty deep. I don't know if they'll win more than 48 games, though. I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go 42. So does that put them 42-39 or 42-4? Yeah.
Correct.
Or is it 42 and 40? 42 and 40. So I've got them 2 games over 500. I feel like that's harsh. I feel like they're better than that, though. You know what? I'm going to give them 43 wins. I'm going to give them 43 wins.
Okay. What's the extra win for? Do you feel better now?
I feel a little better. I feel a little better in my heart of hearts. I feel a little better about it.
Fucking.
I mean, they look good in the playoffs, man. They didn't look bad even without Depot, and they were much better with Oladipo. They won 48 games last year. That's not nothing to cough at, you know?
Trash.
They're not trash. That is not a trash team. And quit stealing my trash is mine.
Trash is not yours.
It's not mine, but you can't call everybody trash. That's my job.
I don't call everybody trash.
You've called most people trash.
You do call most people trash.
I just call the trash, you know?
Take out the trash.
Trash. Lovely trash.
We haven't gotten to the good stuff yet.
All right. We'll move on since you're going to hate. Give me a total. What are they winning next year?
Who?
Indiana Pacers, man.
Indiana? They won 48. Depot's back but hurt. I don't see this team winning more than 45.
Okay. Next up, the Milwaukee Bucks. 60 and 22.
Did they break?
I don't think they broke. My worry with this team is I really wish they would have kept Brogdon. I don't like them letting go of Brogdon. But, you know, you got a bit of a logjam there. Giannis, Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, his twin brother, Robin Lopez, all on the same team. I don't feel like they're quite as good at shooting this year, which scares me a little bit. But you know that Budenholzer's going to tell them to keep flicking it.
They're easy to guard in the playoffs. Too easy to guard in the playoffs.
Do you think anybody, you know, I think you have to hope for the continued ascension of Chris Middleton. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what you need. You need Chris.
Chris is going to keep doing it, man. I don't know. I think we might have seen Chris's peak. I
don't
like
know.
Chris. I like Chris. I want Chris to prove me wrong.
And really, is Giannis going to get – can Giannis become a knockdown shooter?
I think he's on his way. He feels like he's on his way.
But that's, you know, if he develops the ability to pull it up, then he truly becomes unstoppable.
Yeah, he's unguardable.
He's not truly unguardable yet. If you have the size,
if he has the shot, he's unguardable.
Well, but if he has the shot, he's unguardable. If you have size and athleticism and wit, you can deal with him because he's Shaq-ish. He's a freight train downhill, and so that's very straight up. And straight up, simple things sometimes with great players can be difficult to defend. But I mean, that's if we know, we just need to pack the paint, you know.
Well, prediction, dude. I know you got love for these Bucks. I love the Bucks. I don't think they're winning 60 games this year.
I love them. I love the freak. I'm going to give them 55.
You know, I was about to say 55. I think they'll win 55 games.
I think they'll win 55.
They're still going to be hard as hell to stop.
Yeah, especially in the regular season. Nobody's going to want to deal with freak for 38, 40 minutes.
Next up, the Miami Heat. Last year, 39 and 43. Slightly retooled roster. Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, Bama Adebayo.
Would you like to try and pronounce that?
Justice Winslow, Kelly Olynyk. You know, the roster is just, it's not
Miami Heat.
It's just not that deep, man. You know, I don't personally understand why Jimmy Butler wanted to go.
Yeah.
Adebayo. Bam, Adebayo.
Very close. I just butchered it. Jimmy Butler, Goran Dragic, you know, Udonis Haslam's old as hell. He ain't doing shit. Bam's all right. He's a nice piece. Myers Leonard can shoot a little bit. You know, he's big. He can shoot. Magruder, all right.
Magruder grind.
You know, Kelly Olynyk, Duncan Robinson, Deion Waiters, Justice Winslow. This team's not very good, dude. You know, I love Jimmy Butler, but this team's not gonna. They're not gonna set the world on fire. They might win 39 games.
I put them at 500.
You put them at 500. You think 41 and 41?
Yep, I think they go 500.
I mean, I'm gonna say they're gonna be.
500.
I think they're gonna be 39 again. I don't think they're gonna be any better. Not really.
I think they may sniff a playoff spot.
They may sniff one, but I don't think anybody's going to be scared of them.
No, Jimmy's just going to be digging wins out. Like,
yeah. The Orlando Magic, 42-40 last year. I don't think they got any better.
This team
Evan
is
Fournier,
worse.
Mo Bamba, Aaron Gordon, Markelle Fultz, Vucevic, DJ Augustine. The team is worse. It's not any better. They still got Terrence Ross. Terrence can shoot a little bit, but unless Mo Bamba just somehow explodes into some greatness, which doesn't look like it's going to happen, this team is not any better.
They're going to regress big time. 33 wins.
33 wins? I'm not going to disagree with that at all. The Washington Wizards. Now, this is, I think, poor Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal. John Wall, will he be back? I'm not sure if he'll be playing.
I think
Isaiah
John Wall's
Thomas,
career might be over.
Ian Mahinmi, and Thomas Bryant. This team is truly garbage, dude. This team is beyond trash. It is garbage.
This team looks like a 2K team when you get too high and you fuck it up for a couple of seasons. And you're just like looking at it and you're like, man, I'm starting over, bro.
I'm starting over. Next season, we're going to start over. This team is, it's ruined, dude. This team is going to be bad.
Just let Isaiah Thomas try and earn his money.
I'm going to give this team 30 wins. They went 32-50 last year. To be honest with you, I don't know if they'll make 32.
Yeah, Isaiah, get your money.
Get your money. I could see this team winning 20 games.
Yeah. Trash.
Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, Andrew Wiggins, Jeff Teague, Robert Covington. They didn't get any better. They really did not get any better. Yeah, they let a couple of people go. They let Tyus Jones go, who could at least shoot a little bit. This team is, Karl Anthony Towns is going to put up some big numbers, but this team is garbage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boo.
I mean, they're the fucking
36-46. I think they'll win 36 games, maybe. Actually, I'm gonna
30.
I'm gonna say 30.
30.
I'm gonna say 30 as well. The Oklahoma City Thunder. Steven Adams, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari. Chris Paul will be on the move. He's not playing
30 games.
He's not playing. Do you think they're going to win 30 games?
Yeah.
You think they're going to win 30 games?
Gilgeous-Alexander is a good point guard. Got a good center in Steven Adams. 30 games. Got shooters. A couple, anyway.
I'll give them 28. They're not going to be great. I hope that Steven Adams balls the fuck out.
Well, and you hope Gilgeous-Alexander balls.
I hope so. Next up, we got the Portland Trailblazers. Dame Lillard, C.J. McCollum, Yusuf Nurkic, hopefully will be back, hopefully by mid-season. Hassan Whiteside, Kent Bazemore, Rodney Hood, a couple of other people, Jake Layman, this team is pretty much kind of the same. Unless you think Hassan Whiteside is going to magically accept Terry Stott's system and ball like he did in, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there.
I think whatever Hassan does for this team is going to be funneled through his relationship with Dame and CJ. I don't think Terry won't matter.
No, I don't think so either.
If he's vibing with Dame, good things may happen.
If he's vibing with Dame, let's say everybody's vibing. They get Nurkic back, and they're vibing still somehow. He's able to nurse back in slowly. 53-29 last year. Do you think they're going to be any better? Any worse?
50.
50 wins.
It's been nice. I think that because Nurkic's injury was so bad, it'll be okay to keep him on the bench, and so there won't really be any role beef.
For sure. Next up, we have the Utah Jazz. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Michael Conley now.
Salt Lake
Joe
City.
Ingles, the best shooter in the league. Bojan Bogdanovic.
You ever been to Salt Lake City?
Nope.
Utah Jazz 50-32 last year.
Whack. It's trash.
His shoes, whack. His foot stance, whack.
His new Jordans,
whack.
Yeah, it's pretty whack.
I think that Utah will be better than expected. I'm going to give the Utah Jazz 54 wins. I think Donovan Mitchell should shine a little bit beside Michael Conley. Joe Ingles should be able to get a bucket a little easier. He struggled to get buckets in the playoffs. They didn't really have a good creator. Ricky Rubio was just, Ricky was outclassed. I got love for Ricky's game, but he was outclassed. Bojan Bogdanovic can get you a bucket, bro. He can get you a bucket.
Joe Ingles is the type of player that looks like an all-star if you put him next to an all-star.
Yes.
Like, he needs to be around players that have strong gravity, and so he can catch his defender slipping.
Yeah.
And he can catch the help defender.
And he will catch you. If you're not paying attention,
he'll catch you slipping. But if you're paying attention, you can kind of hem Joe up.
You can kind of hem him up.
And so,
Michael Conley, I thought this trade should have been made during the regular season last year. I thought, I don't know what the price was at that time. I don't know what made the price really any different in the offseason. I felt like that trade could have been made pretty much the same way during the regular season. Maybe Ricky Rubio's money fucked it up somehow. I don't know. But Michael Conley is a very underrated player. He's a great defender for his size.
He is.
He's smart. He's a great passer.
Good finisher.
He plays smart basketball.
He's an all-pro.
Alongside Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, this team looks very good. They're the sleeper, in my opinion. I don't think you want to. I think I'm not as scared of them in the playoffs as I would like to be. Honestly, I'm not quite as scared as I want to be. But if they gel and Donovan Mitchell and these other guys succeed off of Michael Conley's gravity and Rudy Gobert balling again, Defensive Player of the Year last year, I mean, this team could be scary in the playoffs if that stuff works.
Yeah, I don't see them getting to the mountaintop, but I do think they'll be a tough out.
I can see them. I can understand not getting to the mountaintop, but this team could turn into a juggernaut. It could. If Donovan Mitchell ascends again, if he takes the next step,
turn into a superstar. He's not a superstar yet.
He's not a superstar yet. But if he turns into a superstar this coming year,
and I mean,
his third year in the league, right? This is his third year in the league coming next year. This is when he should he should hit another level this year. He had a cap breaker in 2K.
The act of getting this team to the championship would be what makes him a superstar. Like, they go hand in hand.
Absolutely. I think that's possible with Donovan. I think this team could be really good. I'm going to give them 53 wins next year. Next up, we have the Golden State Warriors, 57-25 last year. Obviously, Klay Thompson will not be back for a while. Hopefully, maybe March, he's back in the lineup. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, D'Angelo Russell, newly acquired on a sign and trade. Kevon Looney coming back, and the pickup of Willie Cauley-Stein, which I think was actually really quite nice. We're talking about all these duos coming up. Man, you're right, though. They still got three players. They still got a big three. They still have Steph Curry. They still have Draymond Green. And in my opinion, D'Angelo Russell's going to make them look like a big three without Klay Thompson. And, something that nobody's talking about that I just don't understand is when Klay comes back and he gets healthy, it's not like they can't still have him and D'Angelo Russell on the floor at the same time.
All three of them, yeah.
We'll just put it on pause for a second.
Chair in my car. I'm gonna go get it. I've had him there forever, and
well, we'll just keep going.
Good.
While Dave grabs his chair. There's no reason that Klay Thompson can't play three. Klay is big enough. He is strong enough. He is a good enough defender. Klay Thompson can play the three. And then you have D'Angelo Russell, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and either Willie Cauley-Stein or Kevon Looney. I mean, that's pretty nasty. That's a nasty starting five, man. this team wants. I don't think they'll win 57 games. I think they're probably going to win 50 games. But if Klay Thompson comes back and he is healthy by the time the playoffs start, watch out. And, yeah, I agree that D'Angelo Russell could be on the move by the trade deadline or something like that. They could do some throw thing and try to get some other piece. I'm not saying they won't, but I think they ought to run with that lineup. That's a nasty lineup come playoff time.
Yeah.
As we've talked about personally, Klay Thompson looked damn good against Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I think he showed his mettle offensively and defensively. Klay Thompson went toe-to-toe with Kawhi Leonard, and before the injury, he looked every bit the part of a max player and a superstar in this league. And so, if he comes back healthy, and
ACL injuries, they're not what they were.
They're not what they were. If he comes back healthy, all these guys can play together. I think D'Angelo Russell is good enough to figure it out.
I think he'll accept Steve Kerr's system.
And I think he's a good enough shooter. And, I could easily see this team, hovering around 50. I got him at 47.
You got him at 47, yeah. 47 to 50 wins. I think they're still going to be really good. You still have the best shooter of all time. Let's accept it. The best shooter of all time in Steph Curry. And I will take arguments for Steph against Steph for Klay, honestly. Klay cold, bro. He cold. You still have Draymond Green.
I gotta, obviously I'm gotta throw Larry in the mix because Larry was getting hand checked and bumped and all this other shit. If Larry played today, Larry would probably be fucking 50% from three.
But as it stands, with the way the numbers he's put up, Steph Curry is the number one shooter of all time. And so they're still going to be really good. And you have another shot creator on the floor. I think he will obviously accept Steve Kerr's system. How can you not go into a team that just went to, 5 straight finals and not accept the system? That would be the dumbest decision you could make for your professional career.
From his perspective, too, this is a great way to stick it to everybody who shuffled you around and say,
I never thought he should have been traded from L.A. I thought they should have kept him. If L.A. still had D'Angelo Russell just on the books.
I agree.
Man. Now you got LeBron and Anthony Davis. They should not have traded D'Angelo Russell away. What did they get in return for D'Angelo Russell?
I don't remember.
You know what? That means it was probably garbage. It was trash. It was a trash trade.
Right.
Which brings us to our next two teams. And I know you've been waiting to get to this. The Battle of L.A.
Holy shit. Oh, yeah. This is a great chair.
That is a chair. This man has departed and brought up a magnificent chair. He's got him a throne over here. Los Angeles Clippers, 48-34 last year, but obviously the big haul trading all your draft picks for Paul George. Kawhi Leonard signing as a free agent. You still got Patrick Beverley, one of my favorite defenders in the league. Montrezl Harrell. You've got Lou Williams. I mean, this team is nice, man. This team is nice.
If Doc Rivers convinces Lou and Montrez to stay on the bench and run it back, we're going to run it back the same. We're going to do everything the same, except we're going to plug in Kawhi and Paul George.
So who's your starting five? Zubac?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. As long as Montrez isn't in it.
All right.
I want Montrez off the bench with Lou.
So who are you starting at 4? JaMychal Green?
What else do I have?
Jonathan Motley.
Can I start somebody at 2? And put Kawhi or Paul at 4?
I mean, I guess you can.
Who else we got?
Be happening.
Who else we got?
Mo Harkless.
No.
Mfundu.
No.
A name I can't pronounce. No. Terrence Mann.
No.
Rodney Magruder.
Maybe.
Jonathan Motley. Jerome Robinson.
No.
I guess you could start Landry Shamet.
Yep. Maybe Landry Shamet could start it too.
Maybe.
I mean,
I
you
don't
just
know.
need somebody at 5.
I don't know, man. They're going to still be incredible.
I mean,
they're going to still be incredible.
Both of those guys line up at forward.
They do. They're going to be incredible no matter what. They're going to be really good. 48 and 34 last year. What do you give them?
I think they're going to be incredible no matter what. I think that if they
they're going to do a lot of load limitations. They're going to keep Kawhi off the floor some.
If Lou and Montrez come off the bench, they will win 60 games.
They will win 60 games.
This is factoring in Doc as well.
For sure.
Like
60 games.
60 games.
Wow. I'm going to go 55. Maybe 57.
But that, like I said, that 60 is contingent on Lou and Montrez staying on the bench.
That's a big prediction, sir. Next up, we got the GOAT! LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers with newly acquired Anthony Davis and doing a good job after they got all sniggity snatched by Kawhi, a.k.a. number 2. They still went out and did a good job getting Danny Green, DeMarcus Cousins, if he's healthy next year, Kyle Kuzma, Rajon Rondo, Avery Bradley. This is a good-looking roster, man.
I think it's a good looking roster. I think they have the same. I have the same kind of contingency on my prediction for them as well, though.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think Frank Vogel's going to do?
You know, I guess I'd need to look at everybody because a lot of these guys seem like they're on relatively the same level, even though they're in different.
Let's look here. So we have Avery Bradley. I'm not even going to pronounce this dude. And this dude's listed at center. He's 6'7". Trash. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Alex Caruso, Quinn Cook, Boogie, Troy Daniels, AD, Jared Dudley, Danny Green, Eric Holman, Taylor Horton-Tucker, LeBron James, Kyle Kuzma, JaVale McGee, Zach Norville Jr., some of these guys I'm sure are just summer league guys, Rajon Rondo, and Lance Stevenson.
They just got to figure that rotation out, man.
Rotation will be key. It will be key, but it's a good-looking roster, man.
And actually, I'm going to give them. I'm going to call it 53 wins.
Ooh.
I'm taking 7 wins because of Vogel.
Oh.
I'm taking 7 wins over Vogel.
I'm going to give them 56 wins. I think if they get it together, they will win 60.
Right.
It will be, it's going to most likely, if somebody's going to win 60 games, it's going to be one of these two teams in L.A.
It will be one of these two teams.
We're going to keep going. We could stay on that topic for a while. So, Phoenix Suns, 1963. They didn't get any better. Let's be honest. You know, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Rashawn Holmes. Ricky Rubio's not going to solve all your point guard problems that you have. He can bring the ball up the floor.
Yeah,
they're going to be better.
I think it makes them better, yeah.
I mean, they're going to I think they will win 27 games.
I got them for 30.
I'm going to say 27 games, maybe 28. I mean, I think they're going to be good. They're going to be a lot better than last year, but they're not going to make the playoffs. Let's put it that way. They're not going to make the playoffs.
No.
Next up, we got the Sacramento Kings, 39-43 last year. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley III. Nice pickup of Trevor Ariza and Bogdanovich.
This team is not talked about much when you talk about playoff teams.
This team is not. But this team looks poised to possibly make some damage, man. We also got Bialisa, who's solid. Corey Brewer can get you a bucket every now and again. Dwayne Dedman is a good defensive player.
Yeah.
Yogi Ferrell is a good shooter. Harry Giles, the third, I don't know how he's panning out. He's all right. Corey Joseph is a nice pickup. Costa Koufis is Swanigan,
Well, they've got depth.
But they've got good depth. It's a good-looking roster. De'Aaron Fox looks like he could be a stud.
I think he is. It's just a matter of who's coming along for the ride.
Yeah,
Is it going to be Bagley? Is it going to be Buddy?
This team would be better if Bagley transitions to 5. He's got the body.
Probably be harder to guard, yeah.
His skill set suits, and then that way you can, put Bogdanovich at 4.
Or Harrison Barnes at 4.
Or Harrison Barnes at 4.
Put Boggy at 3.
I think that they look good. I'm going to give them 45 wins.
I think they'll go 500.
500, 41, and 41. I can't disagree with that. Next up, we have the Dallas Mavericks. Omar Cuban trying to put it back together. 33 and 49 last year. They got the rookie sensation, Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, J.J. Barea, Tim Hardaway Jr., Boban Marjanovic, my boy Bobby. Him and Toby are no longer together. And they got Seth Curry. They also got some other decent pieces, man. Just to name a few here real quickly. They got the Greek Freak's brother Kostas. They got Brokoff, Jalen Brunson's eye. Trey Burks, decent, good point guard off the bench. Dorian Finney-Smith, Tim Hardaway Jr., Devin Harris, Justin Jackson, Kleber, Courtney Lee. They got McCon. I'm not sure how to pronounce that dude's name, honestly. Dwight Powell and DeLon Wright. I mean, it depends on how good Luka and Kristaps play together.
Yes.
If they ball together, this team won 33 games last year. If they ball together really well, I'll give them 42 wins.
I think that's going to come back to their coach, Jim Carrey.
I think that's going to play a lot. I'm going to say 42 wins.
I got 45.
You got 45. I mean, we're basically thinking the same thing. We haven't seen each other's predictions. We're doing this right now, right here on the fly. I think we just have the same mindset that these teams are. A lot of these teams aren't taking big jumps.
I think we'll argue in just a little bit.
Houston Rockets 53 and 29. James Harden, the newly acquired Russell Westbrook, Clint Capella, Eric Gordon, P.J. Tucker, Kenneth Faried, Nene Hilario. The team they will be better than last year. I think they will be better if Mike D'Antoni is able to do genius magic on the offensive end. Russell Westbrook will play hard at both ends of the floor. He will play hard no matter what. They are going to be better. Clint Capella, I think, will take another small step. I don't think he's going to take no huge leap. P.J. Tucker is nice, man. Kenneth Faried, he can get you a board and a couple of buckets. Nene, I don't know how effective Nene.
Smart player.
I don't know how effective Nene is going to be. Nene is getting old.
He's a big body, smart player.
You still got Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon can get you some good buckets. This team is interesting. It really depends on how Russell Westbrook and James Harden play along each other.
47 games.
47. I'm going to give them 46. I'm going to give them 46, Jimmy. They might only give 44.
Yeah.
I think
bad. You know what I wrote next to my 47?
I think they will be harder in the playoffs to eliminate than they were with Chris Paul, though. And I got love for Chris.
I wrote next to my 47 prediction, Chernobyl, because that's what it's going to look like in Houston after this experiment is over.
You think it's going to explode that bad?
Yeah. I was with my buddy Wes. He's not the biggest fan, but I told him about Westbrook going to Houston, and he said, "Damn, them niggas going to fight." That was the first thing he said. I was like, man, they may. Wes.
I can't blame him. I'm worried that they're going to fight, too.
They're going to fight, man.
I don't know where. You're talking about the two highest usage players in the league. Russell Westbrook, in my opinion, has not shown that he's great off ball. James Harden doesn't want to play off ball. He wants the ball. And deservedly so, I guess you could say. Man can get a bucket. But
Yeah.
I just don't know. I think this roster is still very flawed. I think it's still highly flawed. You took a flawed roster that already couldn't beat Golden State, and you put another player on it who honestly is not as good. Yes, Chris is aged, and he's showing his age, but Chris is still a better shooter from three than Russell Westbrook. This team is really flawed. It's really flawed, and I'm going to say 44 wins. I'm going to go with 44 wins. I do agree with your Chernobyl prediction. I think if they win 47 games, it still will be Chernobyl by the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Russell's probably going to punch Harden in his shit.
It might happen. It might happen. I hope
vice versa.
I hope it works out for him, but I don't think it's going to. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies. Key players: the rookie Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Josh Jackson, Jonas Valanciunas, Jay Crowder.
Ja, Jaren, Josh, Jonas, and Jay.
A lot of Jays.
Jacob Jingleheimer.
Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. They got Grayson Allen, Kyle Anderson, Dylan Brooks. Justin Holiday, Dwight Howard. They got Iggy. I'm sure Iggy's not going to be on this team to start this season. Tyus Jones is a nice pickup, honestly. DeAnthony Melton.
No.
Miles Plumlee. Joakim Noah.
This team sucks.
Watanabe, Tyler Zeller. So they won 33 games last year. They're going to be trash. They won 33.
Maybe Ja's fun to watch.
I'm going to say they'll win 24 games.
I put 22.
You got 22. I got 24. I think we think the same thing.
Booty team.
Next up, we have the New Orleans Pelicans. Key players: Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, the number 1 overall pick, the rookie sensation, Zion Williamson. They got Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Jahlil Okafor, J.J. Redick, Jackson Hayes, shout out for the monster dunk in the Summer League, Derek Favors, and I also just kind of like up this pickup as well, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He seems like he could be a nice piece. They're exciting. I like the meme. I saw a meme, and it had Anthony Davis and LeBron James trailing behind in their Lakers uniforms with Zion coming down from an alley from Lonzo. And it says, and with the incredible alley-oop, they cut the lead to 25. They're not going to win a lot of games, I don't think. The West got better spread out enough that they might squeak into the playoffs. If they gel and Alvin Gentry does great stuff, they could.
A week ago,
Oklahoma City fell off. Oklahoma City fell off.
A week ago, I would have rode with you, dog. But no, man. They're not going to the playoffs.
They're going to be fun. They're going to be fun.
Lots of dunks. Lots of dunks. Some people. It's going to be some violent basketball in New Orleans this year.
I think they're going to be great defensively. I think they're going to be really good defensively. And I think they're going to be running that motherfucking floor.
I mean, you're only showing me 2 good defenders.
Let's look at this
3.
roster.
I'll give you 3 good defenders.
Who's all on this roster? And, we got some good shooters, man. We got some shooters now. Check Diallo's a good defender.
All right.
Josh Hart's there now. Still got Drew. Stanley Johnson's a decent defender. Still got Etuan Moore. Lonzo Ball's a great defender. Lonzo's good on the D.
He is.
I mean, their starting lineup can D up.
I'm just going to show Dave some Zion. This is the first pick in the draft.
The big dude.
6'6", 6'7", 285 pounds.
They call him Mount Zion.
Damn. Yeah, and that's at 285 pounds.
Is that legal? To spin in the air, is that legal?
Yeah. Is that shit legal?
Get out of here. Yeah, man. That's a big dude.
Really big, really fast.
This man blew his shoes out.
Yeah.
Is he a young cat or what?
Yeah, he's 18, I believe, still.
Cool.
He blew his shoes out, Dave, in a college game. His shoes
What do you mean
exploded.
Yeah.
No, like for real. His
You have like the
it's
Nike
what I say.
pump-ups?
No, it's what I'm saying. It is exactly what I'm saying. His
I had
shoes
some of those.
exploded. This young man exploded his shoes. Damn.
He's just so big.
So this man literally blew his shoes apart because he's so powerful in his lower half. Thanks, Brent.
Can you hear me now?
And the president.
There's Obama.
Well, not president now, but in my heart of hearts.
Is like,
And so, if I'm correct, the president came to this game?
Obama was at the game, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
His shoe exploded.
Well, no.
That's what you get for being that big.
Shoe just
You got that
exploded.
shit ripped.
He broke his shoe with his own foot. So 33 and 49 last year. What's your total, Jimmy? What's it gonna be? What do you think it is?
35 and 47.
35 and 47.
Yeah, I think they're still going to lose a bunch of games. Going to lose a lot of games. Drew ain't enough.
I'm gonna give them 37 wins. 37. They will not make the playoffs, but I think they might get 37 wins. And finally, where we may disagree, I don't know. The San Antonio Spurs. 48 and 34 last year. Key players coming back. We got DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, Rudy Gay, the pickup of DeMari Carroll. They got Jacob Poeltl, DeJounte Murray, and Derek White, among others. You know, I'm so sad that Tony Parker doesn't play there and that he's playing his twilight years with that horrible-ass team in Charlotte.
Didn't he retire?
Did he retire? Oh, he did retire.
think
Thank
Tony
God.
retired, yeah.
Thank God. Thank God Tony retired.
Yeah.
I would have felt so bad for him. You know, I love Pop. They're still going to be great because of Pop. They're still going to be good. I don't know if they're going to win 48 games. I just don't know.
No, I think they're a 500 team.
I think they're going to be, I'm thinking they'll win. Yeah, I think they're going to be right. They're going to be flirting around 500, plus or minus just a little bit.
Yeah. Plus or minus 4 games.
Plus or minus 4 games. You know, LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan are not going to cut it, dude. They're not going to get it done.
Their big mistake was signing Aldridge.
It was. I know neither one of us liked it in the beginning.
He didn't even seem like Pop's style. Like, it didn't make sense. I don't know.
It didn't. You know, I guess, what's your major predictions for next year, man?
I mean, I had nothing outside of what we've talked about. Too much. It's all chemistry building now. You know, like my prediction is that Golden State makes the playoffs. I'll make that prediction.
That's not much of a prediction. They're going to make the playoffs.
By the skin of their teeth, then.
No.
Yeah.
No. You predicted them to win more games than that. You can't go back and now all of a sudden
What did I give them? What did I give them?
Then you give them like
47 wins.
47 wins. They ain't going to scrape in.
So right now, that would give them the 1, 2, 3, They'll put them at 5.
Yeah, they'll
6.
probably be the 5th or 6th seed. Yeah, that's barely making it into the playoffs, man. That's in the middle. Average. And then in the playoffs, they're going to be hell.
What did I give them? 47? Man, that puts them tied for 7th, bro. Tied for 6th with Houston. So, what are we putting San Antonio at? What did I say?
I don't know what you said.
I said 500.
You said 500.
I said 500. I mean, that puts them
Out of the
in the
playoffs.
6 or 7. Okay? That's getting in barely. Tied for 7th seed, 6th seed, excuse me.
They will make the playoffs.
I'm saying they're going to make the playoffs, but it won't be. They're going to have to play into the playoffs.
Any bold predictions?
No.
You ain't got not a single hot take. You got to have something. I know there's some bullshit in there somewhere.
No, I mean,
Give me a hot take. I gave you
I
my
think
hot
everybody's
take.
trash.
You do think everybody's trash, which is not your role. I'm supposed to be the one who thinks everybody's trash. I mean, most of Golden State's roster is trash, honestly, outside of the top end. But I mean, I gave you my bold prediction. I think Utah is going to be better than people think. Utah is going to surprise some people this year. Shout out to my boy Jared Hires, my boy Todd. Oh, Todd, old Utah Jazz fan out there. Todd, your Jazz are going to do it. They're my dark horse.
Yeah, I got no surprises here.
They're my dark horse.
I got no surprises here, you know. Portland might fall off.
I don't think Portland's going to fall off.
They might.
They might, but I don't think they will.
Sign Whiteside.
Can I see that lighter?
He is not the truth, sir.
Hassan looked like he was going to be the truth, but you're right. He ain't the truth. They're just waiting on Nurkic.
Well,
what are your thoughts about the, if you watch Skip and Shannon today on Undisputed, the comparison of Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to the dynamic duo of Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan?
I think that's. I don't have to go back 20 years. I don't think I have to go back 20 years to see a wing duo as good. A wing duo is good. Last time I checked, LeBron James lined up at small forward, and Dwayne Wade as a shooting guard. And Miami was pretty good.
Well,
are they not wings?
No, just in a sense of the style. Kawhi and Paul, stylistically, are very similar to Michael and Scottie.
I mean, I guess if in that sense, yeah, they're like that. But I mean, they're duos. They're duos, and I mean, I think LeBron and Wade are a wing duo. Hell,
LeBron and Wade as a wing duo are up there.
You know,
they're up there. I mean, the duo of AD and LeBron, if that pans out, I mean, and AD can actually stay healthy for a season, I mean, I don't think LeBron is going to take a step back in any way next year. I think LeBron will come out and prove a lot of people wrong. A lot of people who are hating, going to prove them wrong. LeBron's going to do it big, I think, this year.
I mean, if he just harnesses the mailman and shows up with that 20-something 8 and 8.
If he shows up with what LeBron shows up with on a standard basis, AD's going to put up some big numbers. And if he can stay healthy, I mean, isn't that arguably the best duo in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's arguable. I think they are. They're the best two players on the same team.
They're the best, too. Well, does this bring a conclusion to our test run, first possible episode of the 3&D Ball podcast? Shout out to the beginning to Stoner Pop for Breach off of Apollo.
Nice.
Apollo.
It's Apollo.
You can check that out.
They made two pretty good Apollos.
They did. Two pretty good Apollos. That can be found on Bandcamp and Spotify and all your streaming services. You can also check out our band, Voodoo Trees. You can check out all of Voodoo Trees stuff on Bandcamp and Spotify, Facebook, all that stuff. Anything else you can think to shout out?
That's all, folks.
That's all she wrote, and hopefully we'll get better and better at this as we go along.